Hello friends and welcome to yet another fascinating video of Wisdom Zone, and this is Shubro, and I'm quite sure you have already guessed today I have the 13th session of English conversation practice, and today I'm gonna give you 16 strong idioms to practice your English conversation, and you can use all these idioms in your everyday English conversation to sound quite proficient and dynamic. So it is my earnest request to all the viewers, please watch this video carefully till the end so that you can learn all the 16 strong idioms I'm gonna discuss today. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do not wait. Immediately subscribe to Wisdom Zone and hit the bell icon to get the first notification. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So friends, welcome back once again to this fascinating video on English conversation practice, and today I have the 13th session, and as I have promised, in today's video you are gonna get 16 strong idioms for English conversation practice, and you can use all these idioms effectively in your everyday English conversation. So before I go ahead, let me quickly remind all the viewers that you will find the previous 12 links in the description. I have provided all the 12 links in the description. If you haven't checked the previous videos, please do not forget to check the links given in the description. So without further ado, let us get started with today's discussion. So friends, as I have already promised, today's video is going to be special because I'm gonna give you 16 strong idioms, and these idioms are quite helpful for your spoken English, and you can use them and practice your conversation and sound quite proficient. Before I start discussing the idioms, let me quickly give you a brief idea about an idiom. So as you see on your screen, what is an idiom? An idiom is a group of words used in a fixed order, and it has a particular meaning that is totally different from the meanings of each word on its own. So that means we use a group of words in a particular fixed order which has a particular meaning, and that meaning is totally different from meanings of each word on its own. So if you try to interpret the meanings of each word, you will not be able to understand the meaning of the idiom, but together they give you a meaning, and that you have to know, and if you know that meaning, then you can use an idiom. So I'm quite sure it's crystal clear. So as you see, the example is given on your screen. The first example is on your screen, that is, a leopard can't change its spots. Let me read it out once again. A leopard can't change its spots. So this is a very useful idiom. It means that people cannot change their basic personalities, habits, or traits. So that means you cannot change who you are. Your trait and your personality would remain the same. Okay, so that's called a leopard can't change its spots. Another one, as you see, the next example is on your screen. It's raining cats and dogs. Raining cats and dogs is also quite useful. Raining cats and dogs means to rain heavily. So if you know the meaning of this idiom, then only you can use it. But individually, if you try to understand the words, you will not be able to get the full meaning. So you have to know the exact meaning of this idiom. So this idiom means to rain heavily. So I am quite sure you have understood what exactly is an idiom. So it's going to be easier for you to learn all the strong idioms I'm going to discuss step by step, and these are quite effective and you can use very easily in your conversation, and they are strong because they convey a strong message. So without further ado, let's dive into today's discussion with 16 strong idioms. So friends, as you see, the first one is on your screen. The first idiom for today is lend someone a hand. It means to help someone with something. That is called lend someone a hand. So we can use it very effectively. Let me show you how to use it. As you see, the sentence is given on your screen. Could you lend me a hand with the luggage? That means could you help me? Let's turn our attention towards the second interesting idiom which we can use in our everyday English conversation. The second strong idiom is on your screen, that is under the weather. Under the weather means to feel ill or unwell. That's called to be under the weather. Sometimes we say feeling a bit under the weather, and we can also use under the weather. So let me show you the example. As you see, the example is on your screen. Yesterday I was feeling a bit under the weather. That means yesterday I was feeling a bit ill. So I'm quite sure you have understood. So let's turn our attention towards the third strong idiom for today, that is put your thinking cap on. Put your thinking cap on means to think seriously about something. When you want to say that someone should think seriously about something, then you can say put your thinking cap on. So let me show you one example. His examination is near, so he should put his thinking cap on. That means he should think about it seriously. So I'm quite sure you have understood this idiom also. So let us focus on the fourth strong idiom for today, that is pay dividends. So let me repeat it once again. It's pay dividends. Pay dividends means to give good results in the future. That means something you do that's going to give good results in the future. That time we say pay dividends. So as you see the example, let me read it out. Sam has put a lot of effort in his last project, which is paying dividends. That means which is giving him good results. I'm quite sure it's crystal clear. Up next, we are going to see the fifth strong idiom for today. That is on your screen. That is in the firing line. Very important one, and it can be used smartly in our conversation. It means to be in a situation where one can be criticized. That's called to be in the firing line. So let me show you how to use it. The politician was in the firing line for his insensitive remarks on the underprivileged community. So that means he was under criticism because of his insensitive remarks. That means he was in the firing line. He was in a situation where he can be criticized because he made these comments. So up next, we are going to straight away discuss the sixth one. Sixth strong idiom is also on your screen. That is throw in the towel. Let me read it out once again. It's throw in the towel. Throw in the towel means to give up or admit your defeat because it's too difficult to achieve. Something which is too difficult to achieve, and that's why you give up or admit your defeat. That's called to throw in the towel. As you see, the example is given. Our opponent threw up the towel after we scored the third goal. That means they surrendered, they admitted their defeat after we scored the third goal. So I'm quite sure it's crystal clear. So up next, we are going to see the seventh strong idiom for today, which is very useful for our everyday conversation. It is on your screen. That is on the same page. It means to have some kind of agreement, to agree upon something. When people agree upon something, they have some consent, mutual agreement. They agree on something. That's called to be on the same page, and it can be used effectively. Let me show you how to use it. Smith and his sister are never on the same page. It is used in a negative way. That means they are never in agreement. They don't agree upon things. So you can use it positively also, that Smith and his sister are always on the same page. That means they have always good agreement. They agree upon things. Up next, we are going to turn our attention towards the eighth strong idiom for today, that is burn the midnight oil. It is also useful. Let me tell you, it means to be awake late to study or work. That's called burn the midnight oil. So if you want to address that someone is just staying awake late studying or working, then you can say that he is burning the midnight oil. So let me show you an example. I had to burn the midnight oil in order to meet the deadline. That means I had to stay awake in order to meet the deadline. So I'm quite sure it's crystal clear. So up next, we are going to straight away dive into this ninth one, that is the heavens open. The heavens open is also similar to raining cats and dogs. It means to suddenly rain a lot. That's called the heavens open. So let me show you the example. Yesterday on my way back home, the heavens opened and I got drenched. That means I completely got wet because it started raining heavily. So I'm quite sure you have understood how to use this beautiful idiom, the heavens open. So up next, we are going to turn our attention towards the 10th one, that is on top of the world. On top of the world is also very useful for our conversation. It means to be extremely happy. When someone is extremely happy, you can say that he is on top of the world. So as you see, the example is given on your screen. Peter was on top of the world after his promotion. That means he was extremely happy. He was elated. We are going to straight away now move on to the 11th one, that is save the day. Save the day means to do something that prevents a defeat or a failure. So to do some activity, do something that definitely prevents a defeat or failure. Let me show you how to use it. Our team was heading towards a humiliating defeat until a good partnership saved the day. I think it is clear because you're talking about cricket, perhaps, that our team was heading towards a humiliating defeat until a good partnership saved the day. That means saved us from defeat. I'm quite sure you have understood. Up next, we are going to see the 12th strong idiom for today, that is bite the bullet. Bite the bullet means to face a difficult or unpleasant situation bravely. When you face a difficult situation or unpleasant situation bravely without being nervous, that's called bite the bullet. So as you see, the example is given on your screen. As one of the directors, he decided to bite the bullet and speak to the employees about the pay cards. That means he took that initiative and he decided to face this unpleasant situation of telling the employees about the pay cards. That's why this idiom is used, that he decided to bite the bullet. Up next, we will see the 13th strong idiom for today, which is cost an arm and a leg. Quite useful for our conversation. It means something that is very expensive. Instead of saying it's very expensive, you can make it sound more attractive by using this idiom, that cost an arm and a leg. So as you see the example, I can't buy the new 5G handset as it costs an arm and a leg. That means it's very expensive. I'm quite sure you have understood how to use this beautiful idiom and sound attractive and charismatic. So up next, we are going to see the 14th idiom for today. The 14th strong idiom is on your screen, that is fly off the handle. That means to lose your temper and become very angry. To lose someone's temper and become very angry is called fly off the handle. So as you see the example, Stuart often flies off the handle when people disagree with him. That means it is his nature. He is short-tempered and he often flies off the handle. That means he becomes angry and he loses his temper. So I'm quite sure it's crystal clear. Up next, we will turn our attention to strong idiom for today, that is a piece of cake. It's really a piece of cake. This idiom means a very easy task. So as you see the example, convincing my boss to give a pay raise is not a piece of cake. It's used in a negative way, so it can be used in a positive way. So you can also say that convincing my boss is a piece of cake. That means it's a very easy task, isn't that? Although it's not in this situation. So up next, we are going to turn our attention towards the last strong idiom for today, that is hit the sack. Hit the sack is extremely helpful and it means to go to bed. So instead of saying go to bed, you can use this beautiful idiom, hit the sack. So as you see, the example is on your screen.
I want to hit the sack early.
As I am exhausted. That means I want to go to bed because I am exhausted. So I hope you understood all the 16 strong idioms I have discussed with examples. Try to incorporate them, try to make sentences and comment below. And all these idioms are going to help you to speak confidently and in a charismatic manner and create a perfect impression. So do not forget to go through the examples again and again and practice them. And again, it is my request to all the viewers, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do not wait. Immediately subscribe to Wisdom Zone to get this type of informative video. So stay tuned for further informative videos and do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to Wisdom Zone.